All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect hearing this word in truth and sincerity. All right, so I want to do a lesson dealing with, false accusations, because we understand that it happened in the scriptures, and likewise, it's going to happen today, all right, because Esau, Edom, the devil, all right, is getting ready to pretty much persecute the believers of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, beginning with the prophets. Best believe they already got, all right, videos chopped up, false narratives ready, all right, to put on the news, so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, none of that is true, man. If they had to go through all that just to put videos together or to lie on us, it's not true, but nevertheless, like the scripture says, for whatsoever was written aforetime was written for our learning. And we have a lot of stories written in the scriptures, of how our forefathers were persecuted, all right, by the rulers, by the people at that time, all right. And I'm gonna get these examples, all right, to show how persecution happened, and Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai vindicated our forefathers, man, all right, because in the Lord's eyes they were innocent, all right. They were persecuted by the rulers at that time, all right, but in the Lord's eyes they didn't do nothing, all right. But before I get started with that, I want to get these scriptures to pretty much, warm up this lesson. All right, to get the gist of what I'm talking about. So this is Sirach chapter 2 and verse 10, right? It says, "Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" Right? Our forefathers, you can think about King David, Joseph, Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and many others. We think about them that were accused falsely. They called upon the name of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and he moved on their behalf, man. The Lord never forsook them. So likewise in these times, when Esau persecute, when people look at, when people starts persecuting us, because this is what the devil gonna do. Put brothers on the news and pretty much make us hated by the public, man. Public enemy number one. But nevertheless, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is gonna come through. That's when that favor is gonna be shown, man. See, hey, they're gonna hate on the prophets, but nevertheless, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is gonna show favor. The scripture says, "Then shall it be known who are my chosen." They're gonna be wishing that they were part of the chosen, man. Especially those of our people that pretty much refuse to listen, man. When they see how the Lord, show out for his elect, man, they're gonna be sorrowful, man. How the Lord pretty much gave that spiritual power, or how he feeding his elect through miracles, food just appearing out of thin air. Hey, they're gonna wish that they had listened, but nevertheless, things are gonna happen before that time, and it only calls for endurance, right? So this is Sirach chapter 4 and verse 28. "Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee." All right, striving for even if they have to take you, you to die. All right, just looking for a word to put that in. But even if they have to take you to die, man, you gotta strive for that truth, man, because eventually, you're gonna come back with Yahweh Shai anyway, man. There is no death. There is no losing, in this truth. All right, I mean, if you're in this truth and then somehow, you fall out, then you done lost already, all right? But within this truth, if you die or you're still here when Yahweh shall return, you win, all right? But nevertheless, the point being is, let me get this real quick. The point being is that, hey, false accusations happened back then, and it's going to happen today, you know what I'm saying? Let me get that in Psalms real quick. Because the Lord is not going to forsake us, man. It's going to get uncomfortable. We just got to endure it, man. But, after a certain period of time, that favor is going to kick in, and, we're going to be good, Because my hope is that, me speaking personally, man, my hope is to make it out of here, man. My hope is to have that spiritual power, if it be the Lord's will. My hope is to have that spiritual power and pretty much, be safe out here, man, because what's getting ready to happen, see, that's the mindset that we got to have, man, to fear Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai more than what Esau about to do, All right, in terms of demonization, man. All right, the devil ain't gonna do nothing that he wasn't given. All right, remember Yahushua said, no doubt, pretty much you don't have power but that which was given to you from above, man. All right, so Esau ain't doing nothing but what was given to him to do, man. All right, but nevertheless, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to do worse on this planet than Esau Edom is going to do, man. But this is Psalms 37 and verse 25. I have been young and now am old, yet have I not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his seed begging bread. Right, and this, if I'm not mistaken, this is a Psalm of David right here, man. All right. Yep, this is Psalm of David. All right, and pretty much, David is saying, look, I was young and now I'm old, yet have I not seen the Lord forsake those that trust in him, man. All right. So likewise in this time, man, look, these things are about to happen, and just know that the Lord is not going to forsake you. All right. So I'm going to get some examples, 2 chapters, 1 in 3 and 1 in Daniel 6, just to show how, our forefathers were persecuted, but nevertheless, they were delivered from that persecution. And likewise today, if we be of the elect, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to deliver us. It says, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold. So let me read the chapter. Daniel chapter 3 and verse 1. It says, Nebuchadnezzar the king made an image of gold, whose height was 60 cubits, and the breadth thereof 6 cubits. He set it up in the plain of Dura, in the province of Babylon. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king sent to gather together the princes, the governors, and the captains, the judges, the treasurers, the counselors, the sheriffs, and all the rulers of the provinces, to come to the dedication of the image which Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. So pretty much, the king Nebuchadnezzar set up an image of gold for the people to worship, man. And he brought everybody to the image for them to worship, right? And it says, verse 4, Then an herald cried aloud, To you it is commanded, O people, nations, and languages, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king has set up. So this was a commandment of the king to, when you hear the music, get down on your knees and worship the image. Okay? And it says, And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. So that was the penalty for not worshiping that image that Nebuchadnezzar set up. All right. So I want to say that to say likewise in today's time, that image would be the system, man. All right, Esau's beast system, that we see being set up, and pretty much it's already set up. They just, something's about to happen to where people get in line with it. You know what I'm saying? But that image is the system. All right, the system that's patterned after Rome. And pretty much those that don't worship the image or get down with the system, you're gonna be persecuted, man. It says, verse 6, And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth shall the same hour be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. Therefore at that time, when all the people heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and all kinds of music, all the people, the nations, and the languages fell down and worshipped the golden image that Nebuchadnezzar the king had set up. So pretty much everybody got down with the program. Everybody got down with it. They were afraid, they feared, But as I keep reading, you're gonna see that the 3 holy children, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they refused to worship the image, man. And as a matter of fact, the first commandment is, Thou shalt have no other God before me. Roughly paraphrasing it. That's a commandment to the Israelites, man. We're not supposed to have any God before Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know what I'm saying? And that was the energy, or that was what the 3 guys were showing right here in this chapter, man. All right, they weren't going to worship that golden image, man. Likewise today, you know what I'm saying, that this system, all right, and also that ultimate idol is that, charagma, man, which Esau is going to require everybody to get, and them taking it is going to be likened to them bowing down, all right, to the image, man. Them bowing down to the orders of the king. All right, verse 8, and that's a spirit too, because the heading right here is the Jews are accused, which is pretty much what the lesson is about. All right, It says, wherefore at that time certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews. Right? All right? In these times, people going to accuse us, man. All right? Accuse us of being terrorists or violent. Accuse us of being violent. All right? That's what that dude Vocab Malone is here for, man. All right? To pretty much link the Hebrew Israelites to violence, man. All right? When in reality, all we're doing is preaching the word. All right? Bringing out the truth written in the scriptures, man. But they're coming at it through a carnal angle. All right? They're going to bring it out through violence, man. All right? So that they can be justified in the persecution that they're bringing. But nevertheless, is it true? Which is not true, man. It says, they spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar, O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image. And whoso falleth not down and worship it, that he should be cast into the midst of a burning fiery furnace, man. All right, which again, that fiery furnace, is that persecution, man, that death sentence, man, which is going to happen in today's time, man. If you don't want to get down with it, if you don't want to take the charagma, you're eventually going to be put to death, man. All right, you're going to be, you know what I'm saying? If you don't take that, then you're not going to be able to buy and sell, which means what? You won't be able to do any activity in this society, but eventually Esau is going to come down with the order to, pretty much kill. All right? Verse 12, it says, there are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee. They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Which Esau's God, or Esau's idols, is just technology, man. All right, AI. They worship this, man, as if this is a true power, man. That's why the scripture says in Psalms the 96th chapter that the gods of the heathen are idols, man. Esau, the Esau's idol, all right, is this charagma, man. All right, it says verse 13. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then they brought these men before the king. It says verse 14. Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, do not you serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? So you see, all right, the parallel going on right here. All right, he was mad because they did not worship nor reverence his gods, man. All right. So likewise in this time, all right, Esau, Edom is going to come down with great wrath. All right, the devil, like it says in Revelation 12 and 12, how the devil is going to come down to you having great wrath because that he have a short time. And he's going to come down upon the whole world, but the Israelites is going to be in the midst of that, man. All right, we're all going to go through that. As a matter of fact, let's get that real quick in the book of Revelation, because Esau, Edom in today's time, they know that they're going down. The so-called white man, they know that they're going down, and to pretty much combat against it, they're gonna come down with the sword. They're gonna come down with everything, man. This is Revelation 2 and 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. All right, and that's where it's heading to right now, man. All right, eventually it's gonna be death to those that don't get down with the order. Okay, it says, verse Daniel 3 and 15. Now, if you be ready, that at what time you hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, ye fall down and worship the image which I have made. Well, but if you worship not, ye shall be cast the same hour into the midst of a burning fiery furnace. And who is that power that shall deliver you out of my hands? Pretty much showing you that Nebuchadnezzar was proud, man. He said, look, if you don't worship this image, you're going to be thrown into the fiery furnace. And who is this God that's going to deliver you? All right, this man was proud. And likewise, this pride, is something that Esau, Edom have. All right, these devils, they're proud. All right, and pretty much, them coming down with that great wrath, they have it in their mind that we're not going to be delivered from that, man. They think that they got us. All right, they're going to get 2/3 of our people, but the elect, Lord willing, we be part of the elect. They're not going to get the elect, man. It says, verse 16. Now, let me recap on that. Certain members of the elect will be beheaded. All right, as part of prophecy, they will be beheaded. But nevertheless, that's still a win. All right, because like I said earlier, if I did say, there's no losing, all right, in Yahushua, man. Those that are beheaded, all right, they're gonna rise up when Yahushua return, man. All right. So it says, verse 16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. You know, they weren't careful to answer because they weren't going to do it. Verse 17, if it be so, our power whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. All right, so Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego had their mind set on deliverance. They had their mind set on salvation, man, because they weren't worried about what the king's commandment was. All right, you talking about you going to throw us into a furnace? Well, you know, the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, who we serve, you know, he's going to deliver us, man. All right, and if not, if he don't deliver us, like I'm about to read, we're still not going to worship your image. All right, verse 18, but if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. All right, so they were faithful, man. Even if it took their, you know, and even if it took death, you know, or the threat of death, you know, they were still faithful, man. No fear. Verse 19, then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated. All right, like I said, likened to Esau Edom today, coming down in great wrath, because you know that he got a short time. All right, it says, and he commanded the most mighty. And there's a spiritual aspect to that too. Is, you know, the fiery furnace, because like I'm gonna read, you know, that the fiery furnace could also represent that persecution. All right, that affliction. See, let me get that real quick. This is chapter 2, Ecclesiasticus chapter 2 and verse 5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. All right, so that burning fiery furnace was actually a trial of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. All right, and they came out like pure gold in the end, man. All right, when they came back out there, they came out like pure gold. So likewise, that persecution is gonna be that furnace, man, and it's gonna be pretty damn hot too, man. All right, this persecution is gonna be something, but those that come out on the other side is gonna be like pure gold. Why? Because you kept your faith in Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, you know, your integrity, you know. See, here's another one, man. You see, so you see how there's like a spiritual aspect and a carnal aspect, but the spiritual aspect we understand and the rest of the world don't, you know, and that's called Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. All right, they'll read that and say, all right, and just get the carnal aspect to it. They weren't touched by the fire, but us, we understand that fire could also mean, you know, affliction. All right, this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter let me see. Salaki, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 6. Let me see something real quick. I'm gonna highlight that. So next time, if I want to get it, no, it'll be right there. Salaki. I usually just remember it off the top of my head, you know. But this is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3 and verse 6. It says, as gold in the furnace hath he tried them, and received them as a burnt offering. See that? So that burning fiery furnace could also represent, you know, affliction. You know, and that's what this persecution is going to be. It's going to be the affliction or the persecution that we're going to go through. And Lord, when we endure that persecution, we're going to come out on the other side as pure gold, man. All right. So I'm going to read verse 19 again. Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury, and the form of his visage was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated. All right. It says, and he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. You know, pretty much, you know, hey, that fire, you know, hit them, but it didn't hit Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, man. All right, pretty much showing that they became confounded, man. You know, because pretty much, you know, those false charges, all right, pretty much did not hold up, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua eventually, you know, delivered them, as I'm about to read. It says, verse 23, and that's a miracle right there in itself, is that the fire hit the men that bound the 3 holy children up, but the 3 boys themselves, it didn't touch, man. All right, so the 3 men themselves, man. So like I said, boys, but the 3 men themselves, they did not touch. And these 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto unto the king, True, O king. All right. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt. And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God. Right? Yahweh was with them, man. You know what I'm saying? And likewise, you know, the Lord is going to come through, man. The Lord is going to show his power. You know, Yahweh is going to be in the midst of us when we're in that persecution, man. That's why, again, it's a thing of faith. You know, because Yahweh Shem Yahushua is not going to forsake you. You know? Verse 26, Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come thither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire, and the princes, governors, you know, and they came out like pure gold, man. You know, they came out like pure gold. They weren't touched by that fire. You know, the affliction hit them. You know, they weren't, you know, the affliction hit them, and they went through the affliction, and they came out on the other side as gold, man. You know, and the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these 3 men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their head singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them. That fire didn't even touch them, man. All right, that's the power of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They went through the fire, and the fire didn't even touch them, man. All right. Verse 28, Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the power, or blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who have sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any God except their own. All right. We're committed not to worship any God but our own God, which is Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shai, man. All right. So likewise, you know, that's what I'm saying, man. You know, in these times, you know, we're gonna be required by the devil. All right, in order to continue in this society, we're gonna be required to get down with his program, worship his gods, man. All right, take the charagma. We're gonna be required to do all these things, but you know, that's where a line is gonna have to be drawn in the sand, man. All right, because you know, Esau demanding to worship his gods is a no-no for us, man. We're the Israelites, and we have a God, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and you know, this the first commandment is, "Thou shalt have no other God before me." You know, it says, where did I leave off at? Verse 29. Therefore, I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak anything amiss against the power of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego into the province of Babylon, man, showing you Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai showed his favor unto the 3 men. You know, after that persecution, after that affliction, all right, the Lord pretty much exalted them, man. Why? Because they held their faith in the Lord, man. So likewise, that's us, man, today. You see, those 3 men, they represent, you know, us today, man, who's going to go through this affliction also, this persecution, you know. But at the end of it all, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua is going to show his favor, man. During the destruction, during Jacob's trouble, all right, the Lord's going to show his favor. He's going to, you know, be showing miracles out here, man. All right. So the next example I want to get is in Daniel chapter 6, man. All right. In verse 1, it says, it pleased Darius, and this is dealing with Daniel. You know, Daniel, you know, continued to worship Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, but you had those that came with false charges against him, man. All right. It says, it pleased Darius to set over the kingdom 120 princes, which should be over the whole kingdom, and over these 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was first, and the princes might give accounts unto them, and the king should have no damage. Then this Daniel was preferred above the presidents and princes, because an excellent spirit was in him, and the king thought to set him over the whole realm. Right, because of the spirit that Yahweh Shem Yahushua gave Daniel, all right, you know, the king favored him over the rest of the princes, man. Verse 4, and the headline on here is a plot against Daniel, right? A plot against Daniel. Then the presidents and princes sought to find occasion against Daniel concerning the kingdom, but they could find none occasion nor fault, for as much as he was faithful, neither was there any error or fault found in him. So they were looking to falsely accuse him also, man. You know, they were jealous because the king chose Daniel over them, so they were looking for anything to accuse him with, and that's what's going on today. Esau, the so-called white man, all right, is looking for anything to accuse the Hebrew Israelites with, man. That's why any little thing a so-called black person do, Hebrew Israelite, all right. That devil, Vocal Malone, all right, is already on the scene, trying to sweep up any evidence to lock into the Hebrew Israelites, man. These are the false accusations that are going to be brought, all right, in these times, man. They're working hard, man, but they cannot find no fault in us, man, because all we're doing is pretty much preaching the scriptures. You know, we're not doing any violence. You know, all we're doing is preaching the word of truth, man. And don't be deceived, man. Esau, Edom, all right, he's going to set up certain dudes, certain people to do outlandish shit so that he can link that to us, all right? But nevertheless, hey, keep the faith, all right? Verse 5, then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his power, all right? Which when you go to Revelation, it talks about how the dragon was wroth with the woman, right? The dragon was wroth with the woman that kept the commandment of the Most High and the faith of Yahushua, man. Let me get that real quick. Let me see. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed. And the woman pretty much represents the nation of Israel. And the remnant of her seed is the elect. All right? And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahushua Mashiach. So that dragon pretty much represents Esau and his system, man. And eventually they're going to come down with that persecution. You know, that's Esau being wroth with the woman, being wroth with our nation. All right? And he's going to make war with the remnant of her seed, man. Because the remnant of her seed, the elect, is not going to bow down to the system. All right? They're going to keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahushua, man. All right? So let me read verse 5 again. Then said these men, we shall not find any occasion against this Daniel, except we find it against him concerning the law of his power, or the law of his God, right? All right, so they made a decree. It says, then these presidents and princes assembled together to the king and said thus unto him, King Darius live forever. All the presidents of the kingdom, the governors and the princes, the counselors, and the captains have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree, that whosoever shall ask a petition of any god or man for 30 days, save of thee, O king, he shall be cast into the den of lions. So pretty much they made a decree, all right, to pretty much leave off their gods, all right, and to pretty much go to the king for anything, man, or to worship the king pretty much, you know, because Daniel, all right, was faithful to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, as I'm about to read, man. All right, so pretty much they were putting laws in place, all right, to pretty much accuse Daniel, man, knowing that Daniel wouldn't do it. But they set these laws in place so that they can say, look what Daniel is doing. He's going against the laws. And is that not what Esau, Edom is doing today? They're putting certain laws into place. And eventually, like the book of Amos 8 and 11 say, you know, the famine of the word. Why? Because this man is going to pretty much, you know, write laws against the Bible, man. All right, that we should preach the scriptures anymore. And eventually, you're going to become a criminal because, you know, you believe in the scriptures. All right. This man is coming with it. Verse 8, now, O king, establish the decree and sign the writing, that it be not changed according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. Wherefore King Darius signed the writing and the decree. Daniel continues to worship. Now when Daniel knew that the writing was signed, he went into his house, and his windows being open in his chamber toward Jerusalem, he kneeled upon his knees 3 times a day and prayed and gave thanks before his power, as he did aforetime. So Daniel continued to worship his God, man. All right. See, the law was to not reverence your God, but to leave your God and reverence the king, right? But Daniel, didn't, said to hell with it. I'm gonna still worship my power, man. Then these men assembled and found Daniel praying and making supplication before his power, showing you how hard they were working, all right, to pretty much criminalize Daniel, man, to pretty much demonize him, all right. And likewise, you best believe these devils behind the scene, they're just looking for anything, man, anything to demonize the Hebrew Israelites with, man, all right. And you got, idiots, all right, with guns on their hips, all right, giving them, ammunition to do so. But nevertheless, matter of fact, nevertheless, let me get this scripture real quick in the book of Romans. All right, because these idiots, all right, I'm gonna call them what they are. All right, camp with guns, man. All right, and that's giving Esau the ammunition to pretty much, demonize. All right, this is Romans chapter 8 and verse 29. Romans chapter 8 and verse 29, and it says, for whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. Verse 30, moreover, whom he did predestinate, them he also called, and whom he called, them he also justified, and whom he justified, whom he also glorified. Man, that's talking about the elect. All right, the elect was predestinated from the foundations of the earth, and they've been justified. So it doesn't matter what they do, what they say, the elect will always be justified in the eyes of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right, because remember, Esau, Edom is looking to do away with the whole nation. All right, not just the elect, not just 2/3, no, the whole nation, man. All right, because this devil was trying to get the birthright back, but it's not going to happen. Why? Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua had to have an elect that he predestinated from the foundation of the world. So, verse 31, it says, what shall we then say to these things? If the Most High be for us, who can be against us, right? Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is with his believers, man. Is with his elect, so who's against us? Nobody, man. Verse 32, he that spared not his own son, but delivered him up for us all, how shall he not with him also freely give us all things? And then verse 33, the point, who shall lay anything to the charge of the Most High's elect? It is the Most High that justifieth. Right. So who's going to lay a charge unto Daniel? Who's going to lay a charge to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? The Lord already justified them from the beginning, man. All right? They've already been justified. Let me. Certain precepts, I need to highlight because, I might want to go to that later on. But, yeah, man, Daniel was predestinated from the foundation of the earth, man. So who's going to, pretty much, lay any charge to him? So likewise, when you go to, Daniel chapter 6 and verse 12, it says, then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any power or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? Yeah, so pretty much, once again, they passed a law saying that you don't go to nobody else but the king. All right, but we know that if we want, so like we know that when we pray, we go to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua first and foremost for everything, man. Then whatever falls afterwards happen, because it's all of the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua anyway. But these guys right here were pretty much trying to criminalize Daniel, all right, for not going to the king, all right, for anything pretty much, but for praying to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. It says, Salaki. I'm reading verse 12 again. Then they came near and spake before the king concerning the king's decree. Hast thou not signed a decree that every man that shall ask a petition of any power or man within 30 days, save of thee, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions? The king answered and said, the thing is true, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which altereth not. Then answered they and said before the king that Daniel, which is of the children of the captivity of Judah, regardeth not thee, O king, nor the decree that thou hast signed, but maketh his petition 3 times a day. So pretty much, they made it a big deal because Daniel prayed to the Lord. All right, they made it they made it a penalty because he did this, man. Then the king, and that's the same energy that Esau Edom is coming in today, man. All right, eventually you're gonna have to go to him for everything, man. You're gonna have to be dependent on him. All right. See, Esau Edom is setting everything up to where you're gonna be banned from trusting in a higher power. All right, he wants to be the higher power. All right, but like I said earlier, there's gonna be a line drawn in the sand, man, which we're not gonna cross, Lord willing. All right. Then the king, when he heard these things, when he heard these words, was sore displeased with himself, and set his heart on Daniel to deliver him, and he labored till the ground going down of the sun to deliver him. Because the king pretty much liked Daniel, Then these men assembled unto the king, and said unto the king, Know, O king, that the law of the Medes and the Persians is, that no decree nor statute which the king establisheth may be changed. And Daniel was pretty much passed into the lion's den, man. Thrown into the lion's den. Verse 16, Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, Thy God whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee, which is true. All right. Verse 17, And a stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet and with his own the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither were any instruments of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning, and went in haste unto the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. And the king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God whom thou servest continually able to deliver thee from the lions? Verse 21, Daniel's protection. Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. My God hath sent his angel, and hath shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me, for as much as before him innocency was found in me. All right, the Lord found innocency in Daniel. Because Daniel didn't do anything worthy of death. All right, Daniel didn't do anything worthy of being eaten of lions, man. So Yahweh Shem Yahweh shall deliver them, man. So likewise in today's time, man, we gotta be found blameless before the throne of Yahweh Shem Yahweh shall, as is written in Revelations, man. That the elect were blameless before the throne of the Lamb, man. See if I can find that real quick. Pretty much the elect is blameless before the Lord. So I can find it real quick. I know it's in Revelations somewhere. Pretty much talking about the elect is blameless before Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, because that's what it is, man. Yeah, I can't find it right now. Or I'm probably in the wrong book. But nevertheless, it talks about how the elect is blameless before the Lord. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to keep going. It says, verse 22, it says, My God hath sent his angel and hath shut the lions' mouths. And I believe, you can get that account in the Apocrypha, Bel and the Dragon. You can read it in there. Pretty much the Lord, shut the lions' mouths and sent Habakkuk to feed Daniel, right? Then was the king exceeding glad. So I can read verse 22 again. My God hath sent his angel, and have shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. And the king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them into the den of lions, them, their children, and their wives. And the lions had the mastery of them, and brake all their bones in pieces wherever they came out at the bottom of the den. And you know what comes to mind is that scripture that says he that casteth a stone upon his head shall return, man. And that's in Sirach, because you know they tried to set a snare up for Daniel, but pretty much they were taking in their own devices, which today the so-called white man, Esau Edom, all right, he's going to be taking his devices that he imagined against Israel, man. All right, the wickedness that he just thinks he's going to carry out, that he thinks he's going to accomplish, you know, that's going to fall upon his own head, man. All right, they did think that they're going to exterminate the nation of Israel. Well, they're going to be exterminated according to Obadiah. All right, so that's that in Daniel. All right, pretty much want to show you that, you know, through in Daniel the 3rd chapter and the 6th chapter, how pretty much, you know, the Lord vindicated his men. All right, they didn't get down with the king's decree. All right, but for a righteous purpose. You know, they didn't get down with the king's decree, and the king persecuted them for that, and the Lord delivered them. So likewise, in today's time, we're going to be persecuted for not getting down with Esau's decree. All right, his wicked laws against Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. We're going to be persecuted, but know that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to deliver you, man. All right, let me get one more scripture in the book of Genesis, the 39th chapter, man. All right, you know what I'm going to is Joseph when he was persecuted, man. All right, and you notice that in the recent 2 accounts I just got, that after they were delivered, what they were exalted. All right, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua set them up higher than they were before. You know, and hey, that's something that's going to happen to us, man. When we be with the elect, we're going to be persecuted. You know, and those that endure the persecution, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to exalt them. You know, beginning here, he's going to protect them, the elect. All right, deliver them from the troubles. But eventually, they're going to be exalted in the kingdom of heaven as those that kept their faith in the Lord, man. All right, so this is Genesis chapter 39 and verse 11. It says, "And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within." Verse 12, "And she caught him by his garment." And this is talking about the wife of Pharaoh. All right, Pharaoh's wife, because I believe Pharaoh, let me see. I believe Pharaoh pretty much made Joseph the overseer of his substance, and went away. Right, it's in verse 5, 39 and 5, it says, "And it came to pass from the time that he made him overseer in his house, and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hands, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person, and was favored." Matter of fact, I should start from verse 7, not 11, Salaki. All right, because the headline here is Joseph tempted. And it says, "And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, 'Lie with me.'" Pretty much, Pharaoh's wife was tempting Joseph to lie with her, man, to pretty much, have sex with her, man. Verse 8, "But he refused and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand." See, Joseph was given everything save, power, because Pharaoh was a ruler over Egypt, but he gave Joseph the power over his substance, or over his house. But Pharaoh, his wife, came to Joseph tempting him, man. Verse 9, "There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee." All right, everything is in your hand but my wife, and my power. All right, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against the Most High? And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. So Pharaoh's wife was just trying to get Joseph caught up, man. So that was a great temptation, man, because, in these times, Jake don't have no restrictions, man. All right, say, hey, put Jake today, put him back in that time, man. They would have already, laid with Pharaoh's wife, man, because our people, they're wicked, man. But that's not the point, The point was that Joseph did not sin against our Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua. All right, and as a matter of fact, had he sinned against Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, there would have been greater penalties, or greater penalties for doing it than not doing it. Verse 10, and it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. So Joseph, he fled, man. He dipped, because she was trying to get him to lay with her. Now we know what comes after laying down, man. All right, they do the one too. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house and spake unto them, saying, see, he hath brought in an Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. That accusation. All right, he tried to lie with me, so I cried out. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home, and she spake unto him according to these words, saying, the Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled out. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, after this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. All right, so pretty much the accusation happened, and then the persecution happened. All right, Joseph is in prison, so you see the parallels there. The decree. All right, the decree, the accusation, and then the penalty, and then what came after that for those that were blameless, the salvation, man. All right, verse 20. And Joseph's master took him and put him into prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph. You see, the Lord was with Joseph. So likewise, in today's time, we're going to be persecuted. Certain brothers might be thrown into prison, but look, the Lord's going to be with you, brothers, man. Hey, even if it's me, look, if they come to my crib and put cuffs on me and bring me to prison, hey, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to be with me, man. I truly believe that. All right, the Lord then, gave me this truth for no reason, man. All right, I gotta utilize it. But the Lord was with Joseph and showed him mercy and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper. All right, so that was the point, man. All right, the Lord was with Joseph, and Joseph prospered. All right, now I'm gonna jump to chapter 40 and verse 9, because this is gonna show, all right, the favor that Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua had on Joseph, man. All right, because remember, these charges are false, but in the Lord's eyes, Joseph was innocent, man. All right, the Lord vindicated Joseph. So this is chapter 40 and verse 9, Genesis 40 and 9. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, and I and he, we dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams, to each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass, as he interpreted to us, so it was, me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. You know, so pretty much, you know, Joseph's interpretation was right. Why? Because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua was with him. You know, Yahushua was with him. All right. You know, and when you continue to read, it shows how Joseph was brought before Pharaoh. You know, and you know Joseph interpreted the dream that Pharaoh had, or that nobody else could interpret but Joseph. Why? Because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua was with him. All right. Now after Joseph interpreted his dream for him, all right, what happened? The headline right here is Joseph is made ruler. All right. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this, a man in whom the Spirit of the Most High is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, for as much as the Most High hath showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou, O Salakia. This is where the Pharaoh gave Joseph power over everything but his throne. I said in the 37th verse, but this is where it was. I want to be right on this. All right. I said in the I said in the 39th verse, that's when Pharaoh gave, you know, Joseph everything but his throne. That was when Joseph was made overseer. Pretty much he made Joseph in charge of, you know, his house. All right, that wasn't yet everything, you know. So Slakia, forgive me for that. But verse 40, thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. All right, so pretty much Joseph was exalted. All right, because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua was with them, you see? So you see the parallels right there. All right, the false accusation, all right, the imprisonment, and then the exaltation, man. You know, which, you know, in this time, the exaltation starts with Yahushua, because he went through all this. You know, he went through everything, all right, you know, that I just, you know, brought out. All right, the accusation, the imprisonment, all right, and then, you know, the exaltation. Because when Yahushua come back, hey, Yahushua has not been exalted on the earth yet, but that's what he's coming back to do. All right, to you know, to come back to get his reverence, man. You know, because he was accused falsely by the wicked scribes and Pharisees, the wicked Jews, right? And then he was you know, he was apprehended, brought into prison, all right, beat, scoffed, mocked, all right, and eventually put to death. And then, you know, he rose back up. Now he's on the right hand of the Father, and he's going to come back to pretty much claim, all right, his glory, you know. And that's what I want to get through, because we're also going to go through persecution. We're going to be falsely accused. You know, we're going to be falsely accused, and then, you know, we're going to go through the persecution. You know, certain brothers, you know, are going to get taken. All right, some going to get beheaded. Hey, I might be part of that number that be taken or beheaded. But at the end of the day, you know, we got to remember the exaltation that comes afterward. We got to remember, all right, the favor of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua after the persecution, after the affliction, man. All right, we can't be Slakia. We can't be set on one thing. All right, we got to look at the things, you know, getting ready to happen, pretty much. Don't be stuck now, you know. Have your mindset on the future. Have your mindset, you know, on the glory, all right, during the persecution is what I'm trying to say, you know. But, you know, Lord willing, that was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushua, Ba'Shem Rakakwadash, and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Until next time, I say Shalom.